function we'll learn is days. The days function returns the number of days between two dates. As shown in the syntax, it requires two arguments, the end date, first, and the start date, second. Excel stores dates as sequential serial numbers, which allows them to be used in calculations. You can directly enter dates as arguments. If you input a date directly into the function, it must be enclosed in quotation marks. However, in the sample table, we'll reference the dates from cells. First, we will choose C2 as end date, then B2 as start date. If we simply subtract the start date from the end date, we'll get the same result. However, unlike a basic subtraction formula, the days function can also handle dates entered as text, as long as Excel recognizes the format. Depending on your task, you can use other functions as arguments. For instance, we can use the today function to calculate how many days have passed since a task ended. We explained the days function simply. In upcoming videos, we will use it in complex tasks. Function is DAYS360. This function calculates the number of days between two dates based on a 360-day year, which assumes 12 30-day months. It's commonly used in accounting calculations. The syntax consists of two required arguments and one optional argument. Start_date and end_date are mandatory, representing the two dates between which you want to calculate the number of days. Method is optional. It determines the day count method. If set to false, the default, it follows the US method. If set to true, it uses the European method. In the US method, if the start date falls on the last day of a month, it is treated as the 30th of that month. If the end date is the last day of the month and the start date is before the 30th, the end date is treated as the first of the next month. Otherwise, the end date is treated as the 30th of that month. In the European method, any start or end date that falls on the 31st of a month is automatically adjusted to the 30th of that same month. You can either select the arguments from cells or enter them directly. If entering the dates manually, using the date function ensures the correct date format. In this example, we'll demonstrate both approaches. Since the dates involve full months, the results will be the same for both methods. In the sample table, we'll reference the arguments from the cells. First, we'll use the US method to calculate the number of days between the two dates. Using the US date format, this will calculate the number of days between the two dates. In the next column, we'll calculate the days using the EU method by setting the method argument to true. The result will be based on the European date format. By comparing the two columns, you can clearly see the difference between these two methods.